Karen, hi. Can you hear me, Karen? Nice to see you too. How's your new year going? Look what I started today, but I messed up the napkin. I've got to try to repair it. It's just the beginning. I'll make it pretty. Hi. Come on in. Don't be afraid. Come on. You want to hear a story? Let's do this. See if, yep, Dollar Tree, Karen. $1.25 tree. It'll be pretty once I get it fixed up, Okay. It'll just be a couple of stories, a couple of shorties. If you're watching on the replay, anyone, I'm glad you're here. And let's just listen to a couple of stories for about 20 minutes or so. Okay? I won't take up too much time. There's one in here that I wanted to read from the Snowstorm of 1967. I'm pretty sure it was this book. Yeah, I'll show you the cover again. Hold on a sec. I want to find this cover. Here we go. Chicago Snowstorm of 1967, page 22. Here's the cover. Isn't that cute? On StreamYards, I always have a hard time getting it the right way, angling it, but see, it's adorable, right? Does anybody remember the snowstorm? Oh, we're the same age. Okay, are you anywhere where the storm was, Karen? Or anybody that might be listening in a replay? It'd be great if you would write down underneath the video a comment about what you remember about it. I'll tell you real quick what I remember is it was me, my sister, Becky, my little brother, Michael. All the other three kids weren't even thought of yet. And my father was at work at the mill, and my mom was home with us kids. Hi, Janae. Love you too. My mom was home with us kids, and we were stranded, I think, 3 days in the snow. We lived in the country, and my mom said that there were helicopters going by every now and then, in case anyone needed help. I guess you went out there and waved or whatever. Hi, Margot. My mom knew someone that was taken to the hospital to have her baby on a snowmobile. My sister Becky, her birthday is January 27th, and my mom made a cake for it. Luckily, she had the ingredients, and we didn't have any birthday candles, so she used these Fannie Mae candy sticks that someone had given us for Christmas, and they had sugar on them. I remember they were pink. Linda, pink, green, yellow, and she put those on top of the cake. And of course, we couldn't get her any presents because we couldn't get out of the house or, to go to the store. So what we did was we went around the house and we picked things around the house to give her. Say like this, a thing of paint. We had no wrapping paper, so we used aluminum foil. And she says to this day that was her best birthday ever. She absolutely loved it. We have pictures of it and stuff at my parents' house. I'll have to try to find them. But I still remember it. It was so much fun. We have a picture of me standing outside on a big snowdrift. And so, yeah. So we'll read about the Chicagoland snowstorm, what it was like there. And this is by a Debbie too, by Debbie Sesco. Chicago snowstorm of 1967. Actually, I was still 11, Karen and Linda and Margot and Janae. I wasn't 12 yet. Becky would have turned 10 because she was born in 57. Okay, it says one fun snow day turned into 4 days landlocked inside. It was difficult to be in school on Tuesday, January 24th, 1967. Every child wanted to be outside to enjoy an unseasonably warm day. It was 65 degrees in Chicago. Oh my goodness, see, I don't remember that. Wow. 65 degrees in Chicago. We tried to steal a few hours of outdoor fun after school before it was time for dinner, homework, and bed. We woke the next day to a more normal temperature of 31 degrees, but that was short-lived since the mercury continued to drop. Our Channel 2 weatherman, PJ Hoff, on his evening broadcast of January 25th, told us to expect freezing rain, but snow started falling in the early morning hours of Thursday, January 26th. My mom said that how the snow started too for that blizzard was she said, hey, Carolyn, she said it was just big flakes that just came falling down so gently. She said, you would have no idea, there were no idea that a storm was coming. But she said it was just big flakes that started coming. Hi, Vicki. Hi, Chris Ree. Let's see. And you were 11 too, huh? Karen, you hadn't turned 12 yet either. Okay. We were told to prepare for 4 to 8 inches of accumulation, not the 23 inches that would eventually arrive. The blizzard paralyzed the city. Both Midway and O'Hare airports were closed. Mayor Daley ordered the city workers to work around the clock to clear the streets, but the snow fell faster than they could plow. By Friday, the entire city was shut down. The snow was so bad, I remember sleds of food coming down Austin Boulevard so people could trek outside to buy essential food items they needed to feed their families. No one at our house went to work or school. 10-foot drifts blocked our door. Oh, I'll have to ask my dad too. My mom's passed now. I'll have to ask him what he remembers about the storm, because I know my mom said one of the neighbor guys shoveled his way home all the way from the mill in Gary. And I mean, that's a lot of miles. She said he shoveled his whole way home. And that was like a crack, to my dad, that my dad couldn't make it home. She always laughed about that. Well, Pete shoveled his way home. Um, yeah, the snow was so bad. I remember sleds of food coming down Austin Boulevard so people could trek outside to buy essential food items they needed to feed their families. No one at our house went to work or school. 10-foot drifts blocked our door. At first, it was fun to be free of school, but we soon learned we would be landlocked in our home. Little did we know that our snow day would grow into 4 days of being trapped inside our house. After a good 24 hours of incarceration, my siblings and I were suffering from cabin fever and driving the sequestered adults in the house crazy. They suggested we take our shovels and go outside, challenging us to dig a path to the street at the very least. We were excited to have something to do. Oh, sorry. See, I'm remembering stuff now. I remember too, my mom said that luckily we had just went grocery shopping like the day before. I guess when it was that beautiful day. She said, so we were stocked with food, I guess. So, we were excited to have something to do. My sister, brother, and I quickly donned our snowsuits and boots. Before we made it out the door, our mother insisted we also take our brother Robert with us, who was only about 4 years old at that time. We opened the front door to be greeted by a snowdrift over our heads. We gleefully began digging, but not thinking ahead. We threw each shovel full of snow over our shoulders, unwittingly filling in the path behind us. When we reached the street, we turned to admire our work, only to realize we had filled in the pathway back to the house. We would need to start shoveling all over again. It was then that we realized we had lost little Robert. Panic set in. We were supposed to be watching him, and now he had disappeared into the snow. With no footprints or any other signs to follow, coupled with the thought that our mother would kill us for losing him, we began to shout his name. Frantically, we looked and waited for a response. Oh man, hey Christine, that was my chance. I missed it. My little brother Michael, he was such a brat. He would have been 6. I missed it, darn it. With no footprints or any other signs to follow, coupled with the thought that our mother would kill us for losing him, we began to shout his name. Frantically, we looked and waited for a response. Then we noticed one little lone index finger poking through the snow. It wiggled like a spring worm in contrast to the stark white landscape. We looked at one another and realized that we must have buried him as we threw the snow over our shoulders. Fearing the wrath of our mother, we plowed our way through the drifts and quickly uncovered him. We made him promise to not tell Mom we had lost him. Robert happily agreed because we thought it was fun to be buried alive, and because he thought it was fun to be buried alive and wanted to do it again. It was 1967, Justina. Were you alive then? Did you live anywhere in the area that had the blizzard? That was such a fun time. That was a fun time. We loved missing school. Let's see. We'll have time to read maybe 1 to 2 more. Let's see here. Oh, let's check this one out. Look at this title. Getting to School, Winter 1945. Look at this little girl. She's cute, isn't she? Why can't I? There we go. This is by Ruth Enderly Brown. And this is her pictured at 10 years old, a fifth grader. And she spent her fourth grade year traveling with her siblings to a school in another county. In the autumn of my 9th year on this earth, I was, as usual, enrolled in our little one-room country school, along with 3 of my siblings. The children of 3 other farm families also attended Ridgeway number 2. Early that winter, unfortunately, our teacher became ill and could not finish out the year. It was too late in the season to find another teacher, so the children of the other families stayed home the rest of the year and would have to repeat their grades the next year. Our mother, however, was adamant that we continue our schooling and not fall a year behind. Mama was able to make arrangements for us to attend school in the nearest town, Taylor, North Dakota, which was 9 miles away. Taylor was in another county, Stark County, from that in which we lived in Dunn. A school bus for the Taylor school served their county, but not ours. So arrangements were made with a neighbor who lived in Stark County to follow us to catch the bus at their farm home. The Fellers lived about 3 miles from our farm. Every morning, Mama woke us early, gave us a good hearty breakfast, and got us ready for school. Oh, yeah, Chicago, yes. Oh my gosh, guys. Hi, Eva. Do you know what we did when we were in high school? All of us kids, even the last 3, we would wake up like in time to rush down to the bus, at the top of the hill. And our parents would always make us sure we had something to eat. We'd run out there with these like breakfast sandwiches that they would make. And most of the time we would throw them. That's so sad, isn't it? I mean, they were good too. Kids, right? She packed lunches for all of us, as lunch programs were unheard of there back in those days. I was in 4th grade. My brothers Walter and Roman were in 3rd and 1st, respectively. Our sister Ramona was in the 8th grade, and our brother Leo was a freshman in high school. Leo woke a little earlier than the rest of us, as he was responsible for getting us to the bus stop on time. When we were younger, while the younger ones got ready, Leo went out to the barn and harnessed a team of horses. He loaded our sled with a quantity of hay, which served 2 purposes. It gave us a cushion to sit on and helped keep us warm. And after that, it fed the horses for the day while we were in school. The stars were still out and the moon was still shining on the snow when we set out in the frigid air, all bundled up in warm coats, caps, scarves, mittens, and snow boots. While we sat in the hay, still half asleep, Leo remained standing so as to guide the team. The team soon learned the way. Learned the way, though, and trotted along on their own. After that, Leo could hunker down in the bed of the sled to get out of the wind while the sled bore us along, pulled by our faithful black horses. The sled was a wagon box with 4 long runners, 2 at the back and 2, hey, Shelly, and 2 at the fore. I was just telling them how us 3 kids and you last 3 kids would throw our sandwiches away at the top of the bus, at the top of the driveway. Isn't that sad? That's Shelly, sis Littlefoot, one of my little sisters. I love you, Shelly. Miss you. Let's see. Once we were at the Feller farm, We younger four were taken into the farmhouse while Leo had the chore of unharnessing the team, putting them in a stall in the barn, and pitching the hay from the sled into the manger for them. He then joined us in the house. Isn't that terrible, Shelley? And they were good, toast with egg and cheese. It's so sad. We all sat lined up on a bench against the wall of the kitchen while Mrs. Feller made breakfast for her own children and got them ready for school. Yeah, same here. Didn't want breakfast. We Enderley children knew our proper place, as did all children in those days, and so we kept complete silence as we waited. Children were to be seen but not heard. Every morning, the radio would be tuned into a program that gave the weather forecast. It opened with a cheery little ditty that went, "Whether it's cold or whether it's hot, we're going to have weather, whether or not." I didn't much care for that little ditty. It was altogether too cheerful for that hour of the morning and for the circumstances. After the bus came, we all boarded in silence and kept silent throughout the trip into town. Many stops were made along the way to pick up other farm youngsters, but at last we arrived at the school. In those days, children were well behaved on buses, kept quiet, and kept their seats. They did not give the driver any grief. At the end of a long day at school, we once again boarded the bus. The trip was then reversed. This time, we did not wait in the neighbor's house, but immediately got into the sled, which now had no hay in it, while Leo harnessed and hitched up the team for the final lap of the journey home. It was getting dark by the time we got home, and once again, the moon was shining and the stars were twinkling. In wintertime, North Dakota days are really short and the nights are really long. We ate heartily of our mama's good supper, did our homework at the kitchen table by the light of a kerosene lamp, and then went to bed. Once spring came, it was a bit easier because it was not so cold anymore and daylight lasted longer. We switched from traveling by sled to wagon when the snow was gone. I was glad when that year was over. Thank goodness we did not have to go through all that again the following year. Hi, Mary. It'll be more exciting next time. I was just trying to do a fast live. Oh, look, Shell. Making this, I messed it up. A vase from Dollar Tree. I have to repair these little spots. The napkin started ripping. But it'll be pretty when I get it done. Oh, I know. Nothing like a little sister. And I've got 3 of them. Thank you, Linda. No, I've got 4 actually. I don't think of Becky as a little sister because we're so close in age. Do you, Shell? Because I've been wanting to make something for you, Shelley. Well, why am I saying? I know you love birds. Thanks, Karen. Okay, well, you never know. Your birthday's coming, girl. Well, that's going to be it. I guess I'll go. I said it was going to be a quick one, and it is. Can I make vodka? Okay. Okay, love you guys. See you over at Carolyn. She's doing the true crime now. Bye, guys. Thanks for coming to listen. Appreciate it.